Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Unwritten. Today, I'm super excited to have a really good friend of mine, Jen Farley, on the show. What I love about Jen is her ability to create, and she has this artistic ability like nobody I've ever known. When we hang out and she shows me all of her like really cool projects that she's working on, I'm just like, holy heck, how do you do it all? And so that's what we're talking about today is we're going to go into who she is and how she does what she does. So Jen Farley, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So let's kind of go back. Well, first off, why don't you introduce yourself? So tell my audience what it is you do, and because I won't do it justice. So please.
I do a lot of different things. I feel like I am kind of a freelancer of many things, and I dabble a little here and I dabble a little there, but I try to leave my mark wherever I am. Primarily, I am one of the singers in the trio Gin, Chocolate, and Bottle Rockets, which is a band in Wisconsin. And we tour throughout the Midwest and beyond. But our home base is in the Madison Baraboo area. We do Americana folk rock kind of music, Dolly Parton, Emily Harris, Linda Ronstadt, as well as original music. Um, I am also a certified professional coach, working in the life, career, and creativity areas. So I'm certified through the International Coaching Federation, serve on the Wisconsin chapter board. That's another important part of me. I also do social media for Girls Rock Camp Madison and serve as a band coach and manager when camp is in session for Girls Rock Camp. And I also just have other little projects here and there, things that make me smile and such. So,
So yeah, I couldn't have done.
it all here and there.
um the coaching thing is pretty new for you ish. I mean, in the
About four
last
years.
what, yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say in the last 5 years. What kind of made you, what was your interest in coaching on a level that's kind of you're very free spirited, you're very creative, and you're kind of coaching in this business world. So what was your
Yeah.
initial spark?
At the time that I decided to get training for coaching, I was in a 9 to 5 job and was working in higher education. And I was kind of trying to find that missing piece that was going to serve me and be the thread that brings everything together that that were my strengths, whether that be with creativity or with community gathering or music or working in higher ed. I felt like I was missing something that I needed to kind of bring it all together and give me that credibility that, not that I needed, because I definitely didn't need it, but I felt like I was searching for it. And coaching kind of brought that together for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a nice way to follow your gut. Like
Yeah.
you knew you needed something, and
Yeah.
uh yeah, and when we get together for our little lunch dates, which I miss, but I love your calendar book or your little journal book.
Oh,
Um
yeah.
oh my gosh, yeah, could you talk about your to done list? Is that okay to talk about? We don't I can
My journal book right here that I
Yeah, the to
so
done list.
yes. So first of all, I am an avid bullet journaler. So I just start with a blank journal with just dots on it that has the grids. And I have found that it's an area or a medium that I can use just for me. Like no one else needs to look at this. No one else needs has any interest in it. It's my to-do list. It's my list of people's birthdays. It's like what my plans are. And one of the pages that I do every month is called Look at What You Did. slash my to done list instead of a to do list. And I go through and like this was my July. And I go through and I'm like, okay, look at all the things that you did in July that after you check it off, you totally forget about. So it's like, I went on a walk with my friend. I had lunch with another friend. I went to Eagle River. I got a new client. I went swimming with a friend. I crocheted some pillows. I had all of these different shows. So, like, it's like a great reminder of, like, oh my gosh, look at what you accomplished, girl. Like, on the days that I'm feeling low and crappy and tired, it's like you get permission because look at all the things that you've done. Because we're always looking forward and looking back, I think is challenging because you don't want to look back too far. But like when you like turn the page of the book, it's nice to just flip back to the previous page or two to be like, okay, yeah, I accomplished something.
Yeah, I think it's super important because we're always thinking about what's next versus, all right, let's take a pause and look back at how amazing July was or August or
And I
whatever.
think
Or
what's next is valid, but I also think it's nice to celebrate and remind yourself how you got to this spot because you worked so hard to get to this spot. Like, give yourself a moment to like look around.
yeah. How do you find the energy to go? Um, Maybe I'll just do a quick little backstory here. But you have a new show coming up, and I just saw you and your husband have some songs coming out.
Yeah, yeah.
And how do you go from I have this idea to actually making it happen? Are there specific steps that you do that are tried and true, or tell me your process?
That's a good question. Um, no. The answer is no. But I guess the whole idea is that you plant a lot of seeds and you water, sometimes you weed, and they come up when they need to come up. So, for example, the songs and stuff with my husband, the songs that we're releasing were recorded in 2002.
Okay.
So we've had them for a while and they've been in the garden for a long time. And we're finally starting to water them and bring them up and see what happens with them because we've been playing some music. So we planted seeds over here and we've been playing music and people are asking, oh, where's this song from? So like now we're releasing that CD. So it's kind of like taking things that we've done or worked on and making sure that they come up when they're ready. And sometimes we don't even know when it's going to be ready, right? Being in a musical that this coming November, like that was something that I planted a year and a half ago. And that was something that was unexpected because I started taking voice lessons from someone who does musical theater. So it's just like these little seeds, and you never know what's going to happen. I wish that there was like a a tool or like a formula, but there really isn't. At least not for me.
Yeah, it's taking all the things in your picnic basket and just pulling them out when you need to. Or
Yeah.
um, how were you as a child? Were you always super creative? And what did you want to do when you were a child? Did you want to be a musician? Did you want to get into, or
Yeah.
yeah, tell me.
I was a big ham, like loved to be center of attention. Um, I was just talking about this the other day. I wanted to be an actress, singer, dancer, and librarian. That's what I wanted to be when I grew up. Um, and I think I also wanted to be a casting agent. So like there's this element of like project planning that I wanted to do too. But yeah, like third grade, I was the director of our stupid musical that we did, like the little school play that we did, because I just like took charge. Um, I tend to I always have been busy, like someone that fills my calendar and my plate maybe to the point where it's too much. But I I've naturally been one of those people that just likes to put things together, like brings. brings in the different things and creates something from it.
Yeah. Did you when did you first start your first band? Was it with your husband, or
My
when did
very,
the
very first band.
yeah, the music, the singing, when did that kind of come about?
Well, I was in musical theater and in show choir when I was in high school. So I did musical theater as a kid. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and there is a youth theater there called Heights Youth Theater, and a lot of people have come out from that performing community organization. Um, and so from there, I did high school musicals and show choir and was always singing. And then I went to college and I did nothing until my friend was like, "Hey, do you want to come over and jam with my friend and sing?" I'm like, "Okay." So I did. And I was like, "Oh, this is missing." I missed just singing. It ended up that I uh, joined a rock band, a cover rock band in Ohio. And we played on the weekends in the bars from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Doing shows. And that's kind of where I just enjoyed, performing in front of people and singing really hard rock songs. And I don't know, just fun. It was fun. And that's how I met my husband. And then he and I started collaborating on music. And he I was doing cover band music and he was writing originals. So that's when I started learning, like I'm really good at like chameleoning, copying people, but he was like doing his own thing, so I had to create my own version of my voice, which was different for me. So that's where my like band singing originated. And then we moved to Nashville, lived in Nashville for a little bit, ended up moving to Wisconsin later on. When I moved to Wisconsin, I stopped singing again for about 5 years and was missing a piece of myself. And then my old band from college was having a reunion show. So I had to start singing again to be able to get up in front of people again. And then through an acquaintance, met Beth Killey, who then was like, "I think you should sing with me at this showcase." And I did. And then, long story short, Gin Chocolate and Bottle Rockets was born. So again, little seeds were planted.
Yeah. I love what you said about when you met your husband that you had to come up with your own voice.
Mm.
It's like he helped you find your voice.
He did. And I still feel like I'm trying to figure out what that is, after all these years, because like, I don't know. There's so many different facets and ways that we are with ourselves. So, um, but when it's not something that you can copy, when you are the one that are presenting it for the first time, you have to really figure out what you are trying to say.
Yeah. Do you think it's more imposter syndrome that you feel like you haven't found your voice yet? Because I feel like when you're on stage, you're you.
Oh, yeah. It is a little bit. I mean, I think we're all our harshest critics. So, in saying that I haven't, I mean, I feel like I have found my voice, but if you asked me to define it, I couldn't do that for you. So, I
Okay,
think also
that's
being
fair.
on stage too, there's an element of being in the flow, and I have no idea what happens when I'm on stage.
Yeah, and that's something that I see in you when you were performing. So, when did you first feel that? Do you know? Like, do you remember when i- that zap of inspiration of like, oh, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now in this moment?
Mm. It's a special feeling, and I don't quite remember that, but I do get that reminder every once in a while now and then. Um, so I can't remember the first time that that happened, but I do remember when it does happen now, and the things that go through my head when that happens now. It's like I'm doing what I'm doing or singing and performing, but I'm also having a conversation with myself inside my head that's totally separate. Like, girl, look what you're doing. Your 12-year-old self would be so proud of you. Like, you're performing in front of people and getting paid for it, or you're singing with your best friends and I have no idea where that voice is coming from. Like this is like the voice that's going on inside my head. So um that's a pretty special feeling. Sometimes
Yes.
saying, um, did you sign the permission slip for that, field trip? And did you take the dishes out of the dishwasher? But sometimes it's not.
The things we do, the things in that's super important to talk about too, because when I see you on stage, and you've talked about it too, that when you're on stage, you feel like you own your space.
Mhm.
I might not be saying that correctly, so
I like it.
I
I'm gonna say that. I like that. I own my space.
you own your space, and even though you're owning your space and you're doing exactly what your 12-year-old self would want you to do, you're still there's still the thoughts in your head of like, oh, did I blow out that candle? Did I lock the door? Did I is my button buttoned on my shirt? You know, all those things
Oh yeah.
that
And then there's like the also the thoughts of like, why is this person giving me a weird look? What did I put correctly? Like the is my hair okay? Like
yeah.
those self-deprecating thoughts too. But sometimes when you're able to click out of that and back into the, oh, 12-year-old Jenny's really proud of you.
Back to right where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that the music will uh like you'll stop being creative, or do you ever worry about, oh, what if I don't love this the next time I go on stage, or is it just something that is just in you and
Yeah. I've thought a little bit about like, you know, we're all getting older and there's going to be a time when it's not like fun, but I haven't come up with a plan on that one and I'm just kind of enjoying where I'm at right now. So, um I don't know. I can't see it stopping right now. It does not compute. It's like it's too hazy over there. I can't see that far in the forecast.
yeah. I think with my business, I'm always worried about, not worried, but it's always in the back of your head when you're a customer based business.
Yeah, and I think it's smart to always have an exit strategy, but for some reason I've not given myself that opportunity yet.
Yeah. I have a woman coming on the podcast, and she actually creates businesses to sell them.
Mm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that's really smart. I never think about long term goals of my business. I think of, oh my gosh, I love doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
And
yeah. It's interesting. I listened to a book that it was Michael J. Fox's autobiography, and he was talking about his Parkinson's Foundation, and his measure of success was when we close the doors. Because when they close the doors, that means that will be that they've done what they needed to do in order to find a cure for Parkinson's. But like that was their goal, was to not be in existence anymore. And I think it depends on like what kind of business that you're doing or what kind of uh, service that you're creating and identifying what does success look like. What do you want the end goal to be? What is on top of your ladder that you're climbing towards?
yeah, I think
So
that's important.
yeah, and I think like right now, at least for Gin Chocolate and Bottle Rockets, and I say that as a band, not necessarily for my own personal creativity. I think like for us, it's just to continue to make music in a safe, fun um, way that we're enjoying it and we're enjoying each other.
So, yeah, I mean, you guys have some super fans.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
I know. I get fan mail,
I love that.
but it's very sweet. It's
It's
and I think that like I used to be like, we're all women in our mid 40s. We're all moms. Who would want to come see us? like we're not like hot little things, but I feel like we are, we represent someone's sisters or someone's parents or someone's daughters to audiences. And I think that the three of us relate to others, and we want people to feel comfortable and invited in our space too. So that's important. It's it's interesting. I'm having a kind of an aha here. I was thinking the other day, what am I good at? I was just trying to like do a to-done list, almost like, a reminder of what am I good at. And one of the things that I think that I'm good at is creating or being an ambassador for community and having people feel welcome in a space and creating a space for people. And I think that served me in coaching, and that served me in music. Is I want people to feel welcomed and seen and heard in a collaborative environment and have fun.
I, yeah, I feel that with you, honestly. So you're doing the thing you know, you're doing that, which kind of is my next little little journey. How do you make it all work? So you have so many kind of things going on, and like you said, you take things, the seeds, and you plant the seeds, and then you sow the seeds, and with your with your coaching business, and then you're on some boards and you're busy, and you're also creating really awesome pillows. So let's just talk about those real quick. Um, so the backstory is that Jen and I were having lunch one day, and she's like, "Do you want to see my pillows?" Or is
Yeah.
sure.
I have
And
a yeah,
I'll her pillows have swear words on them, and they are amazing.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
so let's
here.
just show them really quick. So yeah, this one says zero fucks. And she is it crochet? Is it what is it?
Crochet, and it's all one color, and the letters are like this bubble stitch, so it's like this really subtle um saying on the pillow, because you can't really tell unless you're like looking for it, kind of like, what is those 3D, those, what
Oh
is,
yeah, yeah,
so unless you're looking for what this says, because it comes out as like a pattern. This is
yeah.
zero fucks, and then this one is fuck off.
That one says fuck off, and it's a really nice kind of mustardy yellow.
Mustard yellow. Yeah. Yeah. And
And this, I
yeah.
mean, the macrame behind you is yours too, correct? Like you're just
Oh,
so
yeah,
creative.
this is, I made that one's a rainbow, and then this one is like a, it's like a desert thing. I did
Yeah.
those.
Do you wake up in the morning and you're just like, okay, like today I feel like making pillows with swear words on them, so I'm just gonna learn how to do that, or I'm gonna learn macrame, or I'm gonna learn the ukulele, or like I just feel like your life is so fun, and you could.
Goldfish. I like forget. Like I forget that I have something to do. I'm like, oh, I think I'll do this. No, when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I need a slow roll. So like I am not like one of those like, let's do this. I'm like, oh, that felt really good. I could stay here all day. It's a real effort to get out of bed. Like it's, yeah. It's so funny. My thing is I'm a restless person. And I think it's part of like just in my DNA. I like to be busy. I like to be doing things. And honestly, the crocheting started, I learned how to crochet many years ago by my mother-in-law. Um, and she taught me, and it was fun. And then I put it down for a long time. But then I had had a surgery about 3 years ago, and I was sitting and watching TV, and I'm like, I am so bored sitting here watching TV. I need to be doing something. I want to have something to show for this time that I'm sitting here. So I thought, well, why don't I like see about crocheting again? So I started crocheting like little headbands, and because that was like easy, and then it evolved, and I'm like, let's see if I could do this, let's see if I could do this, like what's the next project, what's the next project. And that's kind of how the crocheting started. It's all because I'm restless and I don't like to just sit. I love sitting, but I don't want to just sit with nothing.
Yeah. So it's like it's something to do when you're kind of watching Netflix, but you do have to count. So
Sometimes, yeah.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
just
And again, I always have these ideas of things I want to do, but I never, well, I mean, I'm getting better at
well, I
making
think
things happen, but it's to get out of my head to make it happen is,
there are tons of things that I'm like, oh, I should do this and I'll try it. And like it crashed and burned into the ground. Or, like I'm gonna start this exercise program that usually anytime that exercise is involved, it usually crashes and burns to the ground
same,
for me.
same.
um, I have plenty of things. Ukulele, this is not the first time I've tried to learn how to play ukulele. Um, the only reason why I'm sticking with it is because I have to play ukulele in this show performance in November. So I have like it's part of my job right now.
That's more of like a have to.
Sort of, yeah. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I feel like I have plenty of things that I've done that I'm like, oh, that's my shoulda list. Like I should do this or I should do that. Um, and that doesn't always happen. Like it doesn't always come together.
Yeah. Can
Because
we talk about exercise real quick? If it was that good for you, don't you think we would just do it automatically? Like
oh,
I'm almost thinking it's a conspiracy theory. They just want you to buy exercise equipment and tennis shoes.
well, I do think though, yes, there's an element of that too. And I think like the food industry's in on it as well, like trying to make things taste so good that are not good for you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they figured out how to capitalize and make money on these industries uh, that we need to survive. But it's true that exercise is good for us.
Yeah.
And but exercise, like in caveman days, was like running away from a bear. So yeah, no wonder like there's that that like element of running is scary. So because you were running from a bear.
Yeah.
Tiger, I don't know.
Maybe we just need to like let out some wild wolves. More. We need to
I don't know. That's why
we need
sitting is so nice.
Yeah, it's safe. I was really into working out for a few months and then, one day goes by, 2 days goes by and now it's like almost 2 months later
Oh my gosh, I know.
and
Yeah.
it's just not fair.
2 weeks ago I went 5 days. Last week I went 3 days. This week I went 0 days. You know what? I also think that we have to give ourselves grace. Like
Yeah.
we're not animals. I mean, no, we are animals. No, we're not robots, is what I was gonna say. We are
Yeah.
not robots. We are human. And so many things create the perfect storm in order for us to go and work out. And, you know, there's all these tips and tricks and ways that we can get ourselves in the right mindset or in the right uh, purpose or like situation to get us into that workout routine. But I mean, you could have had a horrible night's sleep and been like, I need to sleep today, or I need to just rest or lay low.
Yeah, it's so easy to beat ourselves up over the things that don't really even matter. I mean, it does matter, but it doesn't. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I should.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been coaching and studying and talking about like shoulds and should nots, and I still should all the time. And I catch myself and I'm like, okay, yeah, I hear you, Jen. The voice in my head. So, no matter who you are, what you do, you're always questioning.
What advice would you give your 17-year-old self?
Stop being so boy crazy. Oh, like you're better than that. Believe in yourself more, not what the boys are after. I don't know.
Yeah, that is so true.
Yeah, looking for validation from others.
Yeah,
Um, that's going along with the boy craziness.
yeah,
Um, yeah, like yeah, that's kind of where what I would say is just believe more in yourself. Like I would even say that to my 20-year-old self too, or my
yeah,
30-year-old self.
yeah,
Like you're
yeah.
way better than you think you are. I had a friend once say to me, like, I really wish that you could see what I see in you. And it didn't hit me, those words, until years later. Like, oh, I think I know what she meant now. So maybe that's what it is see yourself the way that others can see how amazing you are too.
Yeah. And surround yourself with people that think you're amazing, not just the boys that are whatever, cute.
Yeah, some not so cute.
Yeah. Were you into the bad boys or because you're a librarian stuff, were you into the good boys or the bad boys?
Oh, I wanted to be a librarian because I wanted to wear glasses. And now I wear glasses and it's not as cute. But um I I did have a little time with bad boys. I had some time with very good boys. Um
Because yeah, you were in a band playing at bars. I'm sure you had,
yeah,
all kinds of guys after you.
so I was dating somebody when I was in a band who was in my band at the time.
Okay. Mm.
So
Wah, wah, wah.
um and then I ended up marrying a musician. So he knew the life or, had been around it. So, but he's an amazing man. We've been married 21 years. So I ended up with a really good guy. So
Yeah, that you guys create amazing things, even
yeah,
even today, every day, right?
he's the best partner that I could have ever asked for.
Yeah. As your friend, I would want as many people to know about your band and you as possible. I've actually already told other people about your pillows. You guys, you do girls rock camp, and that's for girls and women, correct? Or am I wrong?
Yes, you are correct. During the summer, we do week-long camps for girls 8 to 18. There's three different sessions. Um, and those are girls with no experience or that might have some experience on an instrument. They come in, they get put into a band, they write music, and they perform the music at the end of the week and they record the music. And then there's Ladies Rock Camp, which is for women 19 and 119. Um, and their weekend sessions. That's usually in December, February, and April. I am not one of the instructors, but I'm a big supporter of Ladies Rat Camp. And I've actually gone to Ladies Rat Camp as a drummer and learned how to play the drums. But that's the same thing. You don't have to have any musical experience. You can go, you can learn an instrument, write a song with a new band, and perform it at the end of the weekend.
I think I want to do that.
You should do. They just opened registration for next year. So
Okay. And where can you find the information on that?
girlsrockmadison.org.
Okay. And you also have a weekend coming up.
Yes,
So let's talk about that real quick too.
yes. Gin Chocolate and Bottle Rockets. We're hosting a Living in Harmony retreat, a music and meditation retreat in Baraboo at Durwoods Glen. It's going to be a weekend for you to unplug and to step away from every day And really, you don't have to be a musician to go to this either, but there is going to be music, and really identifying the ways that music helps us create harmony in our lives, elements of music that we can use to put harmony back into our lives. Um, and then there's massage and meditative walk in the woods and amazing food and a special performance from my band and just a lot of like reflection time too. Oh, vision boarding too. So yeah, it's going to be really nice. This is our third year doing it, and it just every year is so special.
And what else? How else can people find you?
Okay, so there's ginchocolateandbottlerockets.com. That's the band's website. So we have all of our shows and retreats, and we're going to Scotland in 2025 and all these different things that we're doing there. My coaching website is coachjenfarley.com. I do one-on-one individual life and professional coaching for people, whether that be through leadership, career, transition, um, that type of that needs just someone to join you alongside the journey with you. Um, that's the kind of coaching that I do. So I've got information there. The music I'm releasing with my husband is under the Farleys. And we are on Facebook, like the Farleys Sing, I think. Facebook, the Farleys Sing. And we are releasing some new songs this month in September. And then I will be in Capital City Theater's world premiere musical of It's a Wonderful Life in November, the weekend before Thanksgiving and the weekend after Thanksgiving. It is a new musical, so original, and uh, along with the favorite story of It's a Wonderful Life, I will be Bert the cop. So I had a costume fitting yesterday. It was so exciting. Anyways, it's a professional theater company, and we are hosting the world premiere of this musical. So I'm excited for that too.
See,
And
this
tickets.
is why I know this is why you're so awesome. If anybody's listening, like you should talk to her about coaching. Like she is just sitting here listening to you talk about all the things you're in. It's just inspiring. You're an inspiring person, and I'm happy to know you, and I'm happy to share
And if you
share
want a
you with more
pillow,
people.
if you want a custom pillow, let me know. I can do anything. Because in between everything else, I need to do something. It
I
might
need to
take
create some more.
I need to keep doing something.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we end the show? Is there what else is on your brain?
Like what works for me might not be what works for others. And I feel like there's a lot of times that people might listen or see someone and they're like, oh, I really want to do that. I should do it. How do I do it like her? Like, there's no formula for what makes us who we are and what makes us uniquely us. But what is important is seeing who we are, right? Like my friend had said, like, I wish you could see yourself how I see you, and embracing it, warts and all. And um, so what works for me is not going to work for somebody else. Um, I like to be busy. Other people need time to recharge and not do anything. Other people need to move faster than I do. And I think all of it's okay. Um, that's what makes us unique. And that's what makes us different and special. Um, so maybe instead of searching outside of ourselves, we can take a look and see what makes you you at times.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of just getting this visual of just looking in the mirror and loving what you see.
Yeah.
Like you made it this far.
Yeah.
So
That's what I have to say.
awesome. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.